good to start practice today. Glad we could get outside. It wasn't a perfect day, but from a field condition standpoint, but I think it was good to get out. We had a really good off-season program. Players worked hard, and we've got a lot of new faces around here, so it was good for them to kind of become a part of the team. And I think the number one goal and objective for the spring is, we have to reestablish the Alabama factor. To me, we've always been a team that plays with a tremendous amount of discipline, had a lot of responsible and accountable guys that could go out there and do their job and be dependable, and everybody's always put the team first. So the result of that has been we've been able to win a lot of games. Guys have got a lot of individual accolades, got a lot of opportunities to play at the next level, and we've been able to win a few championships. So, but I think it's important to reestablish that. I think to do that, people have to have humility and understand that regardless of how much success you have, you still have to pay attention to detail and do things right in preparation and in practice so you don't develop bad habits. And I also think that, players have to stay focused on the process of what they need to do to be good players. Can't, focusing on outcomes is like a distraction. And, people work, whether it's individual outcomes or team outcomes, it's really kind of a distraction for everybody. So that's been one of the things that we've been trying to focus on. Obviously, from a physical development standpoint, we want to get as many guys ready through repetition, whether they're young players, inexperienced players, or returning starters, makes no difference. Get them to play as well as they can play so that we can depend on them to play winning football in some way or some role, in the fall. So knowledge and experience is obviously important to that, but playing with good intangibles, having good work ethic, giving effort, playing with toughness, being responsible to do a job, those things are all really important as well. So after one day, I know you're going to ask me questions about 100 guys and how they did today, and I really can't tell you that. There's an awful lot of players out there, and we're trying to coach them all, and some guys obviously further ahead than others, but we have a lot of new faces. I'm really pleased with the coaching staff that we've been able to put together, how they've adapted, how the players have responded to them, so that's been a really positive thing for us. The early enrollees have done a really good job of adapting academically as well as in the off-season program, and their learning curve has been really pretty good. I can't tell you how they all did today in practice. How we practice with everybody practicing 1s and 3s, 2s and 4s, split fields, lots of different drills. So until you watch the film, you really don't get a great feel for exactly how guys did. But the most important thing is not how they did, but finding out where they are, what we got to do to get them where they're capable of being and where they can, help us and play winning football next year. So from an injury standpoint, Shaheem Carter and Ben Davis, are probably be limited throughout the spring, although I do think Shaheem has a chance to get back at some point in time. He had a sports hernia. Ben Davis has got, shin splint type injuries that had to be fixed. But all the other players, Trayvon Diggs, Terrell Lewis, Jalen Armour-Davis, Chris Allen, those guys they all participated in practice today. They participated in some degree in the off-season program, so we're thinking those guys will be fine.
Coach, we'll start right here with Charlie.
Just rounding out the injuries, do you have an update on Ali Cajo? We didn't see him out there today.
He's got some issues that he's dealing with, and we're trying to be supportive of him every way that we can, and I think that we'll just continue to try to help him every way that we can, and I don't know if there'll be some point in time he'll be ready to come back and play football or not.
Come here in the middle with Michael.
Just wondering, what were you hoping to accomplish with the quarterbacks this spring, and specifically with Mac Jones?
Well, we want to get every guy a good shot and a good evaluation, and we feel like Mac has made a lot of progress since he's been here. He really played well, especially at the beginning of the year last year when he's getting a lot of reps in fall camp, and then he had to be the scout team quarterback half the time. So maybe toward the end of the year, didn't really have the opportunity to progress like we'd like, but he's going to get every opportunity to do that now. And I think he's a bright guy. I think he has the right attitude about what he has to do to play winning football at the position. I think he's showing more maturity in his approach to how he goes about doing things and being a leader and affecting other people. So we're encouraged by everything that he's done to this point, but he's going to have to go out there on the field and show that he can do it on a consistent basis and run the team.
Bill here with Karen.
We saw Cameron Latou working with the tight ends. What went into that decision?
Well, we do a lot of experimenting in the spring. See if there's a guy at some position that might have a better opportunity to contribute at another position, which, we obviously losing, Hale and Irv. We've got some experience issues at tight end and also some depth issues. And, having another guy suspended for 4 games next year at that position, I mean, we're taking, 3 out of the first 4 guys are gone. So we need to get some people there, and we've been encouraged by the progress that he's made at that position.
Gonna stay on this side with Tony.
What went into the decision to use the 10th assistant coach on defense this year after using it on offense last year?
Well, I don't know that. I think it was a decision to get the best coaches, and the coaches, as we got the coaches, how we could build the best staff. Sark is a great quarterback coach, and he actually, wanted to coach the quarterback, so that would have been the obvious area that we would have added a coach on offense. We feel like we got a really good GA at that quarterback position that can help, some and be on the field. And I just felt like when it came right down to it, we got to hire the best coaches, and it just happened to be that's what they coached.
Coach, we'll go on the left side with Reiner. 2 more Reiner in the
Speaking of Sark, what led you to kind of want to bring him back into the fold? And also, how much do you think what he learned from the pro level after coming from college and coming back to the college level can help him based on your experience of going from pro?
Well, my experience is, the guy did a really, really good job when he was here. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him for what he did before he came here as an offensive coach. I don't think it's fair to criticize when a guy takes over a job 1 week before a game and has to go try to implement something because of the circumstance that we were in. I think that if you look at the body of work at the Falcons, they were like 6th in the NFL in offense or whatever, so there's got to be, some level of expertise to allow them to do that. The players that I talked to there really thought he did a good job and was a good coach, and he's, I think, a tremendous asset on our staff, and we're very pleased and happy to have him. I don't know. We had a whole list of people that we went through to hire, and I feel like we were really, really fortunate to get a guy that was offered the Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator job to come to Alabama, and who had a successful stint in the NFL.
In addition, what do you think he can bring based off his experience in the pro game back in college, just like?
Well, we're going to run our offense, and we're going to do the things that we do. And, I'm sure that there's some things that they did in Atlanta, just like there were some things when Brian Dabolt came here that they did at New England that we implemented in the offense, and those things, were very helpful. We'll do the same thing if Sark's got something that he thinks is going to be beneficial to fit in with the other things that we're doing. Then, we'll implement some of those things. But he's got great knowledge and experience, and the biggest thing is he's well organized, and he's got good relationships with the players, and he's a good teacher.
wrap up here with Alex.
Kind of a two-part question about the same kind of topic. This two-part question real quick. Charles Kelly was given the title of Associate Defensive Coordinator. How do you anticipate him working with Pete in preparing week to week and having two DB coaches on staff? How does that affect your GA responsibilities?
That doesn't affect my responsibilities at all. I'm a GA is a GA. I mean, how else can you say it? No matter how many coaches you got, you're still a GA. You're still a gopher for all the other coaches on the staff. So I kind of do what they ask me to do and, try to do a good job the best I can. So that won't have any effect. Look, Charles Kelly was a guy that I've oftentimes considered it being a coordinator, here. I thought Pete did a really good job last year and should be the coordinator, but I also thought that Charles Kelly would be somebody who could do that because he's been in our system with other people, Jeremy at Florida State, Jeremy again at Tennessee. So, that's like having a coach that's been on our staff in terms of knowledge and experience and terminology. So I just thought he was the best coach, best recruiter, and I thought it was really, really important that, he's an Alabama guy, and when I say Alabama guy, he coached in this state, people in his family coached in this state, he knows the high school coaches in the state, and I really felt like last year's staff, we didn't have that connection, with some of those local folks like we've had in the past. And I thought it was important to get somebody on our staff that had great relationships with a lot of people in our state. So, and he checks all those boxes really well, and he's a great person and has done a really, really good job.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.